Let's get more on this right now with Congressman Adam Schiff, the ranking Democrat of the House Intelligence Committee. Also, Commissioner Bill Bratton of the New York Police Department. Thank you both for joining us right now. And Congressman Schiff, let me begin with you. You are on the House Intelligence Committee, briefed several times since the attacks on Friday. What more can you add about the intelligence on who is behind this attack and what the threat may be here at home?
Well, this was an ISIS attack likely directed and equipped out of Syria. We have seen, George, that France, for a number of reasons, has been the primary focus of external plotting for ISIS for the past year. So there have been multiple plots. They have wanted to attack in public places like we saw so tragically this week. And I think the reality is even the best intelligence will not stop a determined enemy that adapts to our defenses, and ISIS has adapted.
Well, you talked about this last week when we were first talking about the plane going down in Russia. You did say that you believe that ISIS adapted and eclipsed al-Qaeda, clearly going global right now. What are the implications of that?
Well, I think the implications are this is not just an intelligence failure. It's a failure also of a coalition campaign, because we have allowed ISIS to have sanctuary in Syria and Iraq with too much time to plan and plot, too much resources to be directed against us. And unless that changes strategically, we can expect more attacks like this. We're a harder target to reach. But we know that ISIS aspires to attack us here in the United States as well.
One of the reasons we are a harder target are the stepped-up efforts by police departments across the country. Bill Bratton, Commissioner of the New York City Police Department, here as well. Take us inside. What happens inside your department when you get the word of those attacks in Paris?
Multiple number of things will occur. First off, in New York City, we're always on the offense in terms of our intelligence gathering capabilities, Joint Terrorism Task Force, almost 1,000 people currently assigned to counterterrorism. But then we do have, with 35,000 personnel, the capability to ramp up very quickly, as you saw over the last 48 hours. And we have expanded that dramatically over the last 2 years since my appointment as commissioner. We now have a 500-person unit in our counterterrorism bureau that is specially equipped, long guns, heavy vests, vehicles that are prepared to, one, go and protect locations, two, the ability to go into locations that are under attack. Additionally, we have another 800-person unit that we've created, similarly armed and equipped, that are also capable of that type of activity. At any given time, I've got 400 to 500 officers in the city equipped like that. No American city has that capability.
400 to 500 officers. No, you're right. No American city has that kind of capability. But one of the things we see in Paris is there's so many targets. You can't protect everything.
Well, that's the issue, that anybody thinks they can is crazy. No, one of the things we attempt to do is to protect the larger venues, Times Square, for example, or in the case of this issue, all of the French entities in the city. But the soft target aspect is the one of concern, because every major American city, every village, every town has soft targets. That's where the proactivity of the intelligence gathering is so essential. And that right now is where this has been a game changer. IC's taking advantage of the technology that the head of the FBI has been complaining about, that I've been complaining about. Going dark, the ability to go dark. I think you're going to see that's going to play a significant factor in this event. Very interested to see what type of phones they're equipped with, what type of apps they had on those phones. Were they, in fact, even in communication with each other at all? You might have had 3 separate events going on in Paris, for all we know, that they might not have known themselves that they were 3.
Even though they were equipped in the same way?
Well, we'll wait to see if they were equipped in the same way. They certainly all had suicide belts, so they quite obviously were intending to come out of this not alive, which is also problematic for us in the sense of these are people who are going to blow themselves up no matter what.
And finally, Congressman Schiff, you used the word failure just a moment ago. If this indeed was a failure, what should be done about it? What exactly should the United States and the President be doing right now?
Well, we're certainly going to intensify our intelligence cooperation, but we've been doing that already. I think that the chief failure here is we cannot allow ISIS to have this unmolested sanctuary in Syria and Iraq from which to plan and direct attacks against us, because some of those attacks will get through. In the first year of its existence, it focused on building its caliphate. Now, in the second year, it has focused on opening a second front and attacking the West. It has the aspiration to attack us here at home, and being on defense through the use of these intelligence resources is simply not enough. We're going to have to further constrain its space And I think it'll be interesting, George, to see whether the president can get some commitment from Turkey to employ Turkish troops to protect the safe zone that Turkey ostensibly wants to create.
He is there right now. Congressman Schiff, Commissioner Bratton, thanks very much.